More so than I thought. There's only one like weird thing that I really put down. So, did you hear about the guy who the key witness for the Amber Geiger uh trial?
The who?
So you know the cop that who walked into somebody else's
Oh
apartment
yeah,
and shot him, right? And you heard
yeah. I've heard of
about
him.
the key witness.
Nah, I have no idea who the fuck the witness was.
All right, so you'll like this. Well, you won't like it. It's really kind of awful. Um, but so the key witness in the trial who determined that Amber Geiger was guilty of murder. Um, she got 10 years for it. Um, sorry, my computer's being stupid. Joshua Brown was his. So he lived in the area, but he wasn't from the area. He had no gang affiliation. He went to. He just happened to live in the same apartment complex as these two people. Um, and then the day after I think it was the day after she was sentenced, he was approached in the parking lot. The article says ambushed while going to his car and was shot and killed to death.
Killed
He was
to
shot to
death.
death.
Killed him all the way to death.
True statement. Yes, they did. So it seems that being a witness against cops might be deadly.
What? This is my shock face.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, testifying against known murderers with impunity to law is dangerous.
Right. And so the family
Next,
is
you're going to
asking the
tell me
police
it's
to.
dangerous to testify or have information against the Clintons.
So far, it's not so much dangerous as so much as you get depressed.
Is that what it is?
Yeah. So much so that you die.
Via double taps to the back of the head, suicide style.
Right. Because most people miss the first time.
Right.
Little known fact.
It's hard to aim with. Point blank range.
To your own face, yeah, or head, or anything. Yeah, I mean, surprisingly, people are bad shots.
If they quit holding the gun to the back of their own head, it'd probably be a little bit easier.
Probably. I mean, you're sitting there with your arm like behind your head. You got to.
I imagine you got to do it with the thumb, and that's fucking awkward.
Yeah, maybe they do the trick shot with a mirror and everything.
Oh, like how you shave the back of your head? Yeah, that could be.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
Well, I do it by feel, but you want to introduce us? No.
What?
Did you want to introduce us?
Oh, I didn't catch what the fuck you said.
Oh.
So
no, I don't want to let anybody know who we are.
Okay, fuck them. They know what they clicked on.
Yeah, it says it. but who are we?
I'm Scott.
I'm Papa Darby.
And we are the Higher Minds Podcast.
Higher Minds Podcast. The Higher Minds Podcast. I'm going to work on that intro song.
So, what's been up with you?
Oh, stuff. So my daughter's birthday is coming up this month. She was born 2 days before Halloween, and this year is her 13th birthday. I figured on her 13th birthday, I would take her to the Stanley Hotel. Do you know what the Stanley Hotel is?
I know what the Stanley Hotel is, but why don't you go ahead and tell everybody else?
The Stanley Hotel, located in Estes Park, Colorado, is the hotel that inspired the movie The Shining by Stephen King. Sorry, inspired the book by Stephen King, which turned into a movie. Because I know some of you people will be like, he didn't write the movie, he wrote the book.
It's also where they filmed the hotel scenes for Dumb and Dumber.
Oh, yeah, that too. Yeah. But anyway, so for her 13th birthday, I figured we'd go on a ghost hunt there. And I also requested an upgrade to the most hauntedest room.
Did you?
I did.
I bet that's not a cheap upgrade.
No. No, my kids, yeah, they get more than I ever did, but whatever.
So what do you got? Do you got a full on ghost hunt going, or are you just spending a weekend up there? What are you doing?
Well, the fucked up thing about it, sorry, cough, cough. The fucked up thing about it is that they recently stopped doing their ghost hunts, and they're just doing grounds tours.
I had heard something about that somebody new bought it and they don't want it associated with the paranormal shit anymore. And
Yeah,
I think
that
that's
seems
a waste of money.
Yeah, and notoriety.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's not like the place isn't full year round. I mean, it's a gorgeous place anyway.
Mm-hmm.
But, however, they did say that since during Halloween, excuse me, during Halloween time, if we ask the tour guide to do the ghost hunt stuff, that they'll do the ghost hunt stuff. So it might cost an extra little, slip of some dough, but we're gonna do some ghost hunts. Which brings us to
slap the guy an eighth, make it really interesting.
An eighth, yeah. See what he does. I bet he would do that, or she, or whoever.
Yeah.
Hotel staff in Colorado. Fuck yeah, he's pot smoker. Saving him what? $30?
I'm not aware of a dispensary up in Estes Park either.
There is one. There's one.
Is there?
Yeah.
I know there's a glass shop up there.
I don't know about that. I never got glass up there, but I did get pot up there once. But that brings us to our topic, which is
today we're talking about horror movies.
Horror movies. You love them. I love them. Everybody loves them. You scream. I scream.
Best genre of movie.
That or sci-fi. I can't. I'm ambivalent, but goodness. So yeah,
that dab's kicking your ass.
It is. I took one. I forget what it's called. It was pretty good. You got anything? What are you smoking?
What do I have here? This one is Dragon Master.
Oh, that's one you had last week, isn't it?
Is it?
I think so. Because
hold on, I got another one. That's just the one I hit last. It was.
Oh, okay.
Next up on my list is Mystery Goat.
Mystery Goat. Like, is the color mystery like Golden Goat?
It's gonna be Mystery Sativa mixed with Golden Goat.
Mystery Sativa.
We're looking at 80.32%.
Wow. Oh, that's a dab though.
Yeah, it's wax.
It's not like a pure THC crystal with a tiny piece of weed inside of it.
No, it's just plain old wax.
Yeah.
That's fucking awkward to line that up there.
Yeah. He's showing me on Duo. Google Duo, where you Google your duo. That's their tagline, I think. Do with our Google.
I mean, we are a duo, so.
Yeah. And we've Googled each other. Yeah. That's probably where that name came from. Let's Google ourselves.
I don't know if my microphone's picking this up, but my dog is snoring next to me, so if you hear background noise, that's what that is. She snores like a full-grown man.
She does. It's crazy. Anyway, so
let's kick off these horror movies.
Yeah.
We got a fuck ton of them to get through, I bet.
Yeah, I got several pages and explanations, and we kind of a different format this time. We're just kind of going through topics. So I posted that list. We're going through that list plus a little more. We're gonna bullshit about it. Get some high and bullshit.
Yeah.
You want to start us?
So let's start at the beginning with black and white horror.
Black and white.
Do you want to go a 3, 2, 1 on this thing, or me go, you go, me go?
I don't. What do you think? I don't care. I really don't have an opinion.
Let's go back and forth on them.
One at a time?
Let's count them down. Yeah, let's count them down to our favorite one.
Okay. All right.
So my number 3 favorite black and white horror movie is going to be Frankenstein from 1931.
Not a bad one. Is that
Boris Karloff?
Boris Karloff, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good
kind
one.
of the second in the Universal monster movie series.
That's your... No, that would... Yeah, never mind. So my third is Nosferatu, A Symphony of Horror. I didn't realize that it was like that tagline was on there. But
Mhm.
I also added I put the director and year it was released on everyone.
I didn't get directors. I got years on all this shit,
Yeah.
though. Some of these I'm going to know the directors just off the top of my head because I'm a horror movie nerd.
Yeah, some of them.
Frankenstein is not one of those.
No. I bet it was. Well, so okay. When was it? What year was it?
1931.
31.
I'm pretty sure it was the same guy that did Dracula earlier that year.
I'm sure. It seems like they each decade has its own like type of horror movie, and all of them are directed by the same guy, mostly.
Kind of, yeah.
So, but anyway,
that was Dracula, the 1931 Dracula. They recorded the English version and the Spanish version at the same time for that.
Was
2 separate movies filmed.
Was that
one on top of each
other? Was that Karloff too?
No, that one was Bela.
Oh, okay. And he was fluent in Spanish, I guess, and I guess the entire cast was, and the director must have been.
No, I think they had the Spanish cast and the English cast. They're together on location at the same time, filming one after the other.
They're entirely 2 different casts.
Right.
Oh, crazy.
I think I've never seen the Spanish Dracula. I'm just going off what I've read.
Oh, okay. Well, so Nosferatu was directed by F.W. Murnau and released in 1922.
It's a German expressionist film.
Yeah, it was a German expressionist film. Exactly. The first vampire movie, mainly because it was the first, like, it was among the time when first movies were first coming out. Moving pictures, that is.
Yeah. It's a silent film.
Yeah.
I have a DVD. It has 2 different soundtracks for it, too. The original soundtrack is lost.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Huh. Does it... Wait, so you've heard both? Is that what you said? Do they...
On this DVD. I'm sure there's other...
Do they sound much different?
Soundtracks.
Like, do they give a different mood or feeling or anything?
It's hard to tell because you watch the film all the way through with one soundtrack, and then if you want to, you go back and watch it all the way through with the second soundtrack. But I'm sure if you put scene to scene back to back like that, you can.
Oh, okay. But it didn't give you like a different feeling all together?
Not really, no.
Yeah, because I just put it together that, yeah, it was a silent film, so the soundtrack is like besides, the pictures, the second most important part of it. So it could probably really affect the tone of the entire movie.
And then the copy I have, it's colorized too, so it has filters over the black and white.
Oh.
So the daylight scenes are kind of have a yellowy glow to them, and night scenes have more of like a blue purple.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
So what's your second favorite?
Number 2 is going to be Night of the Living Dead, 1968.
That was mine too.
George A. Romero.
Yeah, that was my number 2 as well. Yeah.
That movie came out October 1st, so every October 1st I make it a habit of watching the original.
You sent it to me.
Kicks off my October.
On October 1st.
I did. I do it every year.
Yeah, I didn't get it. Actually, I didn't. I mean, I've seen it a ton of times. So I didn't get to see it this time. I've been watching the other stuff. Actually, the research on this movie on this episode has been pretty cool.
Yeah, I just been getting stoned and watching horror movies.
Yeah,
for a couple days.
My kids hate it. My daughter's kind of into horror movies. My son hates it.
On a related note, I already fucked up Sober October on October 1st.
What'd you do?
I got home from work and fucking hit a dab like I always do, and then like 2 hours later, it's like, today was the first.
Is that a thing you do? Like,
no, it's a thing, and then I was gonna try it this year, and I didn't expect to make it the whole way through, but I figured I'd make it more than 18 hours.
Yeah, Scott, you're a stoner. Like, you would forget.
I need a tolerance reset anyway, and this was gonna be my excuse for a tolerance reset.
Fair enough. A 30-day tolerance reset? Wow.
No, like I said, I didn't plan on making it the whole way.
I didn't make it either.
But I did expect to make it more than 18 hours.
So Night of the Living Dead, I first saw it when I was 9 years old, and it terrified me. To this day, it has caused crippling fear of zombies in me. Like, if I saw a zombie, I would poop my pants.
It wasn't the original zombie movie, but it's the one that all others are based off of. Basically,
It wasn't?
it set the standard for what a zombie.
What was the original? I thought it was.
I don't know for sure. I would probably say White Zombie was the original zombie movie.
Oh. That was silent, wasn't it?
I think
No.
so. It was.
No, it wasn't, because Rob Zombie has quotes from the movie in it. It wasn't silent. But it was early. It was,
Yeah, you might be right. Yeah, it was way earlier than '68.
So, what was your favorite?
Number one black and white horror movie is The Invisible Man.
Not bad. Horror. Why do you call that horror? I mean, it is in the genre of horror, but horror. Why horror?
That falls into the Universal Classic Monsters
Right.
umbrella. And it's one of the very few where the protagonist is a legit bad guy. Like in Frankenstein, he's a misunderstood monster, whatever. And the Invisible Man, he's out there fucking killing people. Like, he has gone mad, pushing people off of cliffs.
I don't think I've
like
seen that.
He's a legit bad guy.
I don't think I've seen that. How does he become invisible?
It's a science experiment. He's a chemist.
Okay. So it's just like that one Invisible Man with Kevin Spacey?
It has special effects that
Bacon?
even today make you wonder how the fuck they did it. Like the special effects in that movie for being from 1933, you're like, how the fuck?
Actually, yeah, my favorite here, their special effects were like amazingly simple. Like there were no special effects. It was just really good camera work and really good acting.
With the Invisible Man, they had a because obviously he turns invisible and he's wearing clothes and shit throughout part of it. But he has a black velvet bodysuit on against a black background, and they double expose the scene.
Cool. Did you get the director's name?
I did not. I can look it up though. What's your number one? I'm looking that up.
So my number one is House on Haunted Hill, directed by William Castle in 1959. It's the one with Vincent Price. And
I was going to say that's the Vincent Price one.
Yeah. And if you know, those who may or may not know who Vincent Price is, though I'm sure if you're listening, you know who Vincent Price is, but he's the voice of the speaker on the video Thriller by Michael Jackson, who all sorts of scary in there. Scary for all ages. Oh, anyway.
Yeah, that one's held up well. The Thriller video.
Oh, it's real well. Dancing zombies? Oh my god. Yeah. That's terrifying.
So The Invisible Man, obviously written by H.G. Wells, directed by James Whale.
H.G. Wells. Okay. Wait, do you say directed by H.G. Wells and what, James Whale?
Written by H.G. Wells. Directed by James Whale.
Oh. Okay. Cool. Yeah, so William Castle though did like House on Haunted Hill, 13 Ghosts, and a bunch of other stuff during that like 10-year period.
Mm-hmm. Vincent Price has got to be one of the best actors ever, let alone best horror actors.
I don't know about the acting. I mean, who played Gary Coleman, or no, not Gary Coleman.
The short little what?
No.
What the fuck was that line?
English white guy. The guy from oh, why can't I think? He played Sirius Black. He played Dracula. Bram Stoker's Dracula. Gary.
Yeah, I know exactly. Gary Busey?
No,
not Gary Busey. No.
Anyway, that guy, I think, in my opinion, is like the best actor in the world. However,
that's the same guy that played Commissioner Gordon, right?
Yeah.
In the Nolan film?
Yeah.
The fuck is his name? To the interwebs.
Anyway, so as far as acting goes, however, Vincent Price has hands down, the best horror voice that is ever horror voiced.
Gary Oldman.
Oldman, not Coleman. Yeah, that's old man. I'm so funny.
Yeah, House on Haunted Hill. That probably would have made my top 5 actually.
Oh, it freaked me out. And the camera work, like I said, there's like virtually no special effects, and the camera work is excellent. Like, it is scary. There's jump scares.
Mm-hmm.
It's really good. So,
what year was that one?
that was 59.
59.
Yeah.
Because they remade it and it sucked.
Yeah, it did. That one had Tay Diggs and yeah, some other people.
Yeah, nobody important.
Actually, all of them are pretty big. Catherine Zeta-Jones is in it.
Oh shit, yeah, I forgot she is.
And the guy, what's the guy with the special skills that can find anybody and kill them? Liam Neeson's in it. He plays the doctor. Yeah, anyway.
Yeah, but none of them have been surprised.
True. Or Gary Oldman. What's your third favorite monster movie?
Third favorite monster movie. I'm going Pumpkinhead, 1988.
Ooh, not bad. I forgot about those. Yeah.
Not the best movie, but a fucking cool monster.
It is. It is. It was, yeah. I think it was like one of the first movies that looked like the artwork.
It was a monster movie that actually showed the monster quite a bit, too. I just watched it again the other night, and he actually gets quite a bit of screen time as far as a monster movie goes. Usually they keep him hidden for as long as possible, it seems like. The guy who made that monster also made the Alien and the Predator costumes, too.
Oh, I see it. Yeah. Yeah, because the pumpkin was like juicy.
Yeah, Pumpkinhead, he's kind of alien shaped, too.
Yeah. And like,
yeah, he's just constantly wet, just water pouring off of him.
Yeah.
Drooling, or I don't know what the fuck it was.
Juicy pumpkin juice. Pumpkin spice. That's what.
Pumpkin spice. Yeah. That's what it is.
Yeah, that's where it comes from.
Pumpkinhead drool.
It is. In case anybody wanted to know where it came from. So my favorite.
Yeah, the original was good. The sequels not so much, which tends to be the way horror movies go.
Can you think of any good sequels? What Friday the 13th or Nightmare on Elm Street? That was good up until 3.
Yeah. Really, Friday the 13th, I don't think gets good until about 3. That's when he gets the classic Jason mask.
Isn't I thought it was in 2.
2, he has the burlap sack.
Oh yeah.
And 1 is his mother.
Right, Mrs. Voorhees.
Mm-hmm. So really, Friday the 13th 3 is probably, at least in my book, the better of the early Friday the 13th.
Where's that located? That's not Crystal Lake, right?
Yeah, that was Crystal Lake.
Okay.
Camp Crystal Lake.
I don't think I remember that one specifically. Oh, actually, I'm sure I do. But I can't place it. Anyway. So, yeah. What did you say? Your Pumpkinhead was your third favorite monster. So, that was my third favorite. It's Friday the 13th. It was directed by Sean S. Cunningham and released in 1980.
See, I don't consider that a monster movie. It's just a guy in a mask.
That's a supernatural guy. He's dead. Not just a guy in a mask. He died when he was a boy.
I'll give it to you. Alright. When I think monsters, I think monsters.
Oh. Actually, yeah, all of my monsters are humanoid.
Weak.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, so actually, I'm going to do my first and second because they kind of go in order. Next. Okay. I mean, it's after you.
So my number 2 is Alien.
That's a good one.
Xenomorph from the Alien franchise.
Yep. Yep. So, wait. So I meant this as monster movie. Did you do favorite monster? Which actually in mine is the same too.
Oh, yeah, I did. I stuck to this for the monsters, not the movies they were in necessarily.
Mine is the same anyway, so it doesn't really matter. So let me give you my one and two real quick in that order. So my number one is Nightmare on Elm Street, directed by Wes Craven, released in 1984. My favorite because Freddy is the most abstract villain out there. He can enter control and attack you in real life from within your dreams. Like nobody else has that kind of power. Like you are entirely vulnerable against him. And then on the other side of that abstract spectrum is Texas Chainsaw Massacre, directed by Tobe Hooper and released in 1974. There's kids coming out. Anyway, so yeah, on the opposite of that spectrum, such then Freddy is Leatherface. It's because he's a far less classic monster as movie monsters go, but he's far more realistic than almost all of them. And that's partly due to the fact that he was based on a real person, very, very, very loosely based on Ed Gein.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't consider any of those real monsters. They're just people.
Freddy Krueger, he's a monster.
He was a regular guy first.
So was Jason.
Yeah, they weren't fucking conjured by a witch or fucking space aliens or
Freddy, no
demons or anything like that.
So Freddy Krueger was conjured by the anguish of the parents. I'm just guessing at that. He was conjured by frickin' something. And then Jason was conjured by the love of his mother. So it's really a love story.
That's adorable.
Yeah. It's a sweet story about a boy and his mom murdering the fuck out of people.
So my real monster, number one, is the Creeper from Jeepers Creepers. That, in my opinion, is the best monster movie made in probably the last 30 years.
It was okay. I mean, it's good. I liked it. But, I don't know. Honestly, I'm not terribly into monster movies as far as horror movies go. It's not my favorite genre of horror movie. Subgenre, I should say.
See, I like that you can completely suspend what is normal and what is real in a monster movie. You don't get as much of the, oh, that could never fucking happen. Because it's a monster you've never seen before. You don't know what the fuck.
Except that it's a monster conjured by witches or whatever it is.
Whatever it is, yeah. No, I like the design of the Creeper. Several years ago, I was cruising Craigslist, and I found a truck just like the Creeper van. And I had to resist from buying it.
How much was it?
Because I knew that I didn't need to take on that kind of a project. It was cheap. The guy was only asking like $2,000 for it.
What is?
I think it's an old Ford. It's like a 40-something cab over truck.
But like the one in the movie was like giant, right?
Mm-hmm. Well, the one in the movie, it's a cab that they built that box on the back of.
I remember like when they're chasing him in the beginning, and like the grill is way over the rear windshield.
Yeah, it's just because it's that tall.
Is it that tall? Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a good size. It was a commercial truck from like the 1940s.
Oh. So they're like 7,000 horsepower, V12s and shit.
Well, it probably would originally had like a V8 flathead, but they souped it up for the movie just to make it reliable and shit.
Are you sure they did actually? The mechanics did soup it up, or they didn't use movie magic to do that?
They would have had to do some sort of an engine swap on it. I can't imagine they're running a flathead V8 that's that old, or maybe even an inline 6 or whatever. I would imagine they probably small block Chevy swapped it.
Okay, if you say so. That's not something I can talk about.
You don't know cars.
Nope.
Yeah, you're not a car guy. So next is, I'm betting probably more your wheelhouse because I'm not super into these ones.
Slasher movies?
Slasher films. What's your number 3?
My number 3 is American Psycho.
That was a decent one.
It's one of my favorite all-time movies. It was directed by Mary Harron, who is the only woman that makes her a director's appearance on my list at all. In fact, she's one of the. I couldn't find any other because I didn't really look. Any other female horror directors. But anyway, American Psycho came out in 2000. If you remember it,
I have no idea if a man or woman directed any of these.
Every single other one of my movies are directed by men.
I just assume the vast majority of Hollywood directors are going to be men. Most movies are probably going to be directed by men.
Yeah. Generally.
My number 3 is Candyman, 1992.
Ah, Candy. That's not bad. Oh, what's his name?
Tony Todd.
Tony Todd. Thank you.
Fucking love Tony Todd.
We were talking about him in some other episode, weren't we?
Yeah, he came up in some other discussion one time too.
Yeah, I forget what it was though.
He's gonna make an appearance later on my list.
Yeah, I do repeat a couple of these. So my number 2 is. Did you ever see the movie VHS on Netflix?
I have seen it in like rental stores and shit, and laughed at the irony of a movie named VHS on DVD and Blu-ray, but not VHS. But I've never actually seen it.
It's pretty good. It's an anthology. It's a bunch of disjointed stories. In fact, they have a VHS 2, which is the same thing, and it's also very, very good. But it's also directed by a bunch of different directors. Yeah, there are a bunch of different short stories, and it came out in 2012. I think the only place you can see it right now is maybe a rental store, but Netflix is one. Excuse me. Yeah, it's pretty good. You should check it out.
Yeah, I've seen it sitting on shelves and shit. I've never actually watched it though. My number 2 slasher is going to be the House of a Thousand Corpses franchise.
Oh, not the franchise entirely. Is it a franchise? I thought there was just one.
Yeah, I figured I'd lump them all together. There's House of a Thousand Corpses, The Devil's Rejects, and they just came out with Three from Hell, which I haven't seen
that either, and I forgot that they were the same characters. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Personally, I think The Devil's Rejects is a better movie than House of a Thousand Corpses.
I can't right now. Like, I've seen them both. I can't distinguish between the two. There's Captain Spaulding, right?
House of a Thousand Corpses is kind of an artsy homage to 70s B movies.
All of zombie stuff is, really. Oh, yeah. Directed by Rob Zombie, by the way.
The Devil's Rejects is a more linear movie, I'll say.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Captain Spaulding was in that, right?
Yeah, that's where Captain
R.I.P. What was his name?
Sid Haig, the actor who played him, just died.
There was a rumor that he had died, like, for the last 10 years, though. Like, that he is himself addressed, so, it's kind of ironic. Like, I mean, his death was going to occur eventually anyway, but it's weird that he's actually dead because he's been fighting the rumor that he's dead for quite a while.
Well, he had some kind of cancer or some shit, I think.
Well, that was part of the rumor.
I had just seen a thing with it was that franchise and all the actors that have died, and he died just recently. Matthew McGordy, the guy who played Tiny, died right after The Devil's Rejects was filmed.
Yeah.
The woman who played Mama Firefly in the first one, I think, maybe the second one, I don't remember. She died. The guy that played the grandpa died. Like, half that fucking movie is dead now.
Like, all natural causes?
Moral of the story, don't work with Rob Zombie.
At least on the movie. His band's doing all right?
Yeah, like half that fucking cast is dead. Man.
But like, not they're all natural causes. It's not like the fucking Superman curse
Most of them are older.
Or like the Poltergeist curse.
Well, obviously Sid Haig, he was like 80 or something like that. Like, had cancer, that was coming.
Well, apparently he didn't have cancer.
Matthew McGordy had that, or whatever it was. He was old.
Yeah.
Whatever it was.
Yeah.
Matthew McGordy had that growth disease thing.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that was a big, tall guy.
Yeah, that big fucker. Yeah.
He was in Bubble Boy.
Big Fish.
Big Fish.
Yeah, he was in Bubble Boy too.
Yeah.
Yeah, he played the giant Big Fish. He was in 1 or 2 Marilyn Manson music videos.
Yeah. He had the disease. So at least until at some point, the tallest man in the world was Henry Wadlow at like 10 feet, 6 inches, I believe. He had that same disease. He died of the same reason.
I used to work with an old guy who grew up in the same town as that other tall guy.
That Wadlow guy? About. Yeah. Where was that?
Yeah. Somewhere in Iowa.
Yeah, all right. Something like that.
But I guess they grew up in the same town.
At the same time?
I think the tall guy was a little bit older than the old guy that I worked with. But like he knew of him and everything when he was growing up.
Yeah. So my number one favorite slasher movie is Scream, directed by Wes Craven. Came out in '96. Really? Yeah, I thought it was pretty good.
Wes Craven's done a lot of good shit.
Yeah,
he did Scream franchise. He did the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise. He did Cursed. You ever see that one? The shitty werewolf movie. Yeah.
Oh, he did other stuff too. And I know that I saw it somewhere. Yeah, but no, he's done a bunch of stuff. He's good.
Yeah, he's kind of a horror icon.
Well, no, his later Nightmare on Elm Street movies kind of sucked. Even Wes Craven's new Nightmare kind of sucked.
It's hard to keep something like that going for that fucking long. I mean, Nightmare on Elm Street kind of went into the campy comedy horror. A few films.
Yeah, after 3, I think. Well, no, what was 4 the Dream Warriors? Or was that 3? It was after Dream Warriors.
They all blend in. There's the first one, and then all the other ones just blend in together.
Well, number 2 was, I think, intended to be an actual continuation, and everything else was just money making. But number 2, that was really good too. Like, do you remember? The most memorable part from that movie is where he's inside and everybody else out partying by the pool, and then Freddy's claws start like popping out of the end of his fingers and stuff. Do you remember that part?
It's been fun since I've seen those movies.
Out of the entire series, number 2 is my favorite.
See, and that kind of goes the same route as my number 1, which is the Hellraiser franchise.
Yeah, that's not a bad slasher.
1 and 2 are fucking amazing. 3 is okay, and it just slowly goes downhill.
How many do they do? Do you know specifically?
They're up to 10 now.
I didn't realize there was that many.
Doug Bradley, the guy that plays Pinhead, played him in 1 through 8. 9 came across, and they kind of rushed it. I guess they were coming up on the end of owning the rights to the franchise or some shit like that, so they rushed a script through, and he goes, "No, this sucks. I don't want anything to do with that." So they recast Pinhead. 10 rolls around. They offered it to him again. He's like, "Nah, that sucks too."
I mean, it's money.
But if you've seen like 6, 7, 8, they're not fucking good movies. Like, I can't imagine how bad 9 and 10 are if he fucking passed on them.
Yeah, that's funny. So like,
I got to meet him several years ago. Got his autograph.
Oh, where?
Shit too. Fucking cool guy. I was working for a haunted house when I was in high school. Cool. And the owner of the haunted house was friends with him.
Oh.
So whenever he was in town or whatever, they'd hook up and hang out and everything. And he happened to be in town in October during the haunted house thing.
Oh, that's pretty nifty. So yeah, Hellraiser 10. That's got to be like straight to video, right? Like Hellraiser Pinhead meets Jafar, kind of thing.
I'm thinking from 3 on, probably went straight to video. The first 2 are like real legit movies that tie into each other and everything, and then 3 is when they start spinning off into bullshit.
Yeah. So, what's your third favorite paranormal movie?
Third favorite paranormal movie, I'm going Blair Witch Project.
Not bad. Not bad. That movie legit scared the fuck out of me when I first saw it.
The marketing behind that.
It was so good. And
That wasn't the first found footage film, but it was the first like theater released big found footage film. And everything, I guess when like the movie was over, they didn't roll any credits with names or anything. It was all guerrilla marketing through the website and everything. This is early internet, 1999 shit. Like, it was a genius movie. Not the best movie, but like done well.
And yes, like all inclusively well. Like they considered fourth wall type marketing. It was really good.
I think at the time, I don't know if it still does. It had the highest budget to box office ratio.
I think it still does.
It had a stupid low budget and made a ton of money.
And have you seen those actors again?
Never.
Yeah. They don't need to work because I mean they're still getting royalties from it, but yeah. Did you ever see any sequels to that?
The sequels are terrible. I saw the second one. I've never seen the third one.
Never saw them.
It's not found footage like that. They try to make a story out of it. But a lot of the shit in the woods when they're scaring the shit out of the actors and everything, that's like the film crew actually fucking with them in the middle of the night, like they're legitimately afraid and shit.
Right.
I like it. I read something. I think they called it guerrilla or method filmmaking, like method acting, but it was the filmmakers doing it, kind of hands-on. They would leave them notes and like,
that makes sense.
Go to this location, film this on your way there, kind of shit, and we're gonna fuck with you along the way.
Kind of like, did you ever watch the American Horror Story series?
Never got into those
shows.
I tried to get into Asylum and the Circus one, and I just couldn't get into it.
Yeah, those. Try the first season. Like the first season's my favorite. It's the best. But in the Roanoke season, which is also extremely good, it sucks until you get halfway through, and then it's brilliant. But that's the kind of thing that they're filming in that season too. Is that method filming?
Mm-hmm.
They're filming method filming, which is not method filming.
So what's your number 3? Paranormal / ghost.
My number 3 is The Ring.
Okay.
Directed by Gore Verbinski, released in 2002. It was a remake of a Japanese horror film called Ring from 1998, which was based on a book by Koji Suzuki, who also makes cars.
I get The Ring and The Grudge mixed up for some reason.
Me too. Well, I used to until I don't know when, but yes.
I don't know if they came out around the same time or what the fuck it was, but yeah.
I think it was like the same year, yeah.
They're both Japanese remakes too.
Right. I think The Ring is superior to The Grudge. I did like The Grudge, but the monster in The Ring is more, well, I like the abstract, like I mentioned before. Mm-hmm. Is more abstract, and I really don't like Sarah Michelle Gellar as an actress. I'm sure she's a wonderful person.
Did you ever see that one she was doing with Robin Williams before he killed himself?
No, what?
Sarah Michelle
Gellar, show?
Robin Williams.
Oh yeah, like he was a TV personality or something.
They're an advertising or some shit. I think. It was
halfway decent. I never saw it. Anything with Robin Williams has to be halfway decent.
Yeah. At
least. I mean, there was that fucking horrible movie, Mrs. Doubtfire. That movie fucking sucked. Fuck Mrs. Doubtfire.
Is that your transphobia coming out?
Yeah. Yes, it is. LGBT fuck you. Wait, no. LGBT fuck TQ. I'm totally kidding. I love trans people. Yay, trans people. Is he trans in that? Is that trans?
I don't know. He's a cross-dresser at the very least.
But dude, I mean, it's not an identity thing. He's trying to be. That movie sucked. Fuck him.
It's
Fuck
a grown man cross-dressing to hang out with children. When you break it down to its simplest pieces, it's a fucking creepy story.
Yeah, well. Hey, so what's your second favorite paranormal?
Number 2 is The Shining, 1980.
Not bad. Not bad. Jack,
Jack
oh,
Torrance.
Torrance. Yeah. If you go to the um the the Stanley Hotel, they have Jack Torrance impersonators. Actually, they're what's his name? Who played him?
Jack Nicholson? Jack Nicholson?
Yeah.
Which one's the golfer? Which one's the actor? I can never fucking get it right the first time.
Nicholas is the golfer. So they're actually Jack Nicklaus impersonators impersonating Jack Torrance. So there's a couple of different levels. It's very, very clever.
Jack Nicholson. Or
Jack Nicholson.
Okay.
You know, be better. You know what? You know what I should do? I should go impersonate Jack Nicklaus, impersonating Jack Nicholson, impersonating Jack Torrance. I should do that. I could pull that off.
So Loveland, Colorado is right down the canyon from Estes Park, where the hotel that's based on is. And last year, the one old theater downtown here was showing The Shining on the big screen. So me, H, and K went and watched The Shining on the big screen in a theater right down the canyon from the hotel that was based on. And I dressed up as Jack Torrance that night for Halloween.
Oh yeah, I saw that picture. Yeah. It's very cool. When was that? That wasn't Halloween, right? That was something else?
No, that was Halloween last year.
Oh, was that? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like we've been doing this show since you did that, but I guess not.
No.
Can you believe this is the 31st episode?
It's kind of crazy.
Yeah. More than half a year.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still figuring this shit out, though.
Mm-hmm. Still have no idea what the fuck we're doing.
No. Yeah. All I know
but
how
hey,
to do is
you got us on iTunes finally, it looks like.
Let's talk about that at the end.
So what's your number 2 paranormal movie? My
number 2, and this is, I don't know, number 2 and number 1 are interchangeable for me, but my number 2 is 1408. It's directed by Mark Hafstrom. That's pretty awesome because the O in Hafstrom has an umlaut.
I knew that was coming.
Hell yeah. Fucking umlauts. I love them. Anyway, but I didn't realize until today. Oh, it came out in 2007, but I didn't realize until today it was also based on a Stephen King book.
Is that the one with is it Matthew Broderick?
No, it's John Cusack.
Okay.
And Samuel L. Jackson.
Matthew Broderick and John Cusack are the same fucking person.
I see that. I can see John Cusack being having a day off.
Yeah. Yeah. It's the same fucking person in my head for some reason.
I cannot disagree with that. Yeah. Sorry, guys. But it has Samuel L. Jackson. He's indistinguishable.
Yeah.
I mean, distinguishable. Entirely distinguishable. He's distinguished. Samuel.
That was kind of a trippy movie.
Oh, I love it. It's actually playing right now. It's part of my research.
So my number 1 is Wishmaster 1 and 2.
I forgot it. Yeah,
I fucking love those movies.
Those are good.
That's another.
Who was the bad guy? Yeah, it is
the actor.
Yeah, the actor. And he's played some pretty good villains.
Let's see. To the interwebs.
Yeah. Or interwebs. Oh, which is a different type of thing. Interweb hose.
Directed
featured
by
in
Robert
adult documentations.
Kurtzman. Executive produced by Wes Craven again. So there's Wes Craven up on the list again. Andrew Divoff.
How do you spell that?
The guy that played the Djinn. Divoff.
What else has he been in? Click on his name.
He was in Mac and Me. He was policeman number 2. Hunt for Red October. He was Foxtrot weapons officer. Toy Soldiers. He was Louis Cali.
Oh, no way.
Apparently he was in Hong Kong 97. Malcolm Goodchild in that one. Yeah, none of these are grabbed my attention. I don't know what else you might have seen him in.
Okay.
He was a voice in Call of Duty Black Ops and Black Ops 2.
Oh.
He played Lev, Russian ass name. I have no idea what the fuck it is. He was in an episode of The Twilight Zone in 86. Matlock. MacGyver. Walker, Texas Ranger. He was on 3 different episodes of Walker, Texas Ranger. Jag, Alias, Burn Notice, Law and Order SVU, Criminal Minds, CSI Miami, Lost.
Lost, that's what I'm thinking.
He played Mikhail something. I don't know. He was in a handful of episodes, though. 06 to 07, then again in 10 for Lost. So, he's been around. Yeah, those movies, the Wishmaster movies are the shit. Fucking killer makeup in them. And I just love the wordplay. You wish for something, he can twist it to make it fuck you over.
Yeah.
It's a fun con.
Yeah, it's a good movie. I really like it. My favorite paranormal movie is Haunting in Connecticut by Peter Cornwell in 2009.
Which one is that one?
So it's about...
This sounds familiar, but I've seen so many of those.
It's about a boy...
type movies.
Well, it's a teenage boy who has cancer. His mom moves him and his family to a different city for some experimental treatment, and the house that they move into is rented and is a former mortuary. So it turns out the mortuary...
This isn't the one I thought it was.
Oh, okay. Well, so it turns out the mortician that worked there, that owned it, is he's a bit of a necromancer. He carves a bunch of spells in dead bodies, like writing on them, cuts off their eyelids, and then buries them in the walls, and then uses the house in seances with his assistant, who is a powerful medium, and ends up getting killed by the angry souls that they trapped. So the thing about it is based on a true story. However, if you follow along closely to it, it kind of makes the way they tell the story and they describe the family in their situation, it kind of makes it the whole thing unbelievable. For instance, the drugs that he's taking causes hallucinations. The house is old, so the electricity is all wonky. Of course, it was an old funeral home, so there were rumors about it. So I don't know. There's it's a perfect storm of dark shit happening. All right, so this conversation took way longer than I thought it was going to take. So to give you bite-sized little ear nibbles, we're going to cut this into 2 pieces, and we are going to give you the second part at the end of this week.
Yeah, I kind of expected this episode to go long.
Yeah.
I assumed we'd be shooting the shit about favorite movies and shit. So
yeah, if I would have thought about it, yeah, because I mean, honestly, when we hang out all night, get stoned, and talk about basically this for hours.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, pretty much.
And then watch them. Maybe we can't watch them with our listeners though.
No.
Well, not yet. Maybe someday. Anyway, so this has been the Higher Minds podcast. You'll get the second part in a couple of days.
Yeah, this will be part 1. Planning on part 2 probably Friday.
Yeah.
So stay tuned for that one.
Yeah. I'm Papa Darby.
I'm Scott.
Deuces.
Deuces, everybody.